Yeah, it depends on when it was. It might, because we might not have had Hawaii or Alaska yet, so it
Yeah,
might have been
so
like the 49th or 50th state.
yeah,
But yeah, but what's the reasoning behind that? Like, why
it's
make Washington D.C. I mean, as far as like certain things go, like the Electoral College, it has its own votes and shit like that. So I mean, from that standpoint, it kind of makes sense. But in what other way, like, is there really enough of an argument to make it its own state? Like,
see,
what's the definition of a state, I guess? And plus,
um,
it's in the middle of Maryland. How the fuck are you gonna have a state in the middle of another state?
I don't even like. Here's my point, dude. Here's my point.
That'd be like Providence being its own state in Rhode Island. Like Providence is smack dab in the middle of Rhode Island.
Oh, dude,
Not really, but you know.
oh yeah, but still, like there were people that were pissed off here about wanting to like people wanting to change the name from state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations to just Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Even though like 99% of people probably I didn't know that it had that full name of the Providence plantations and all that shit.
yep,
I just called it Rhode Island. Most people will
yeah,
call it Rhode Island. You know, the people who knew about that are probably like the people who live in Rhode Island,
yeah.
and that's about it.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like people going to like Dunkin' Donuts. They're like, they're not saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts. You want anything?" They're like, "Hey, I'm going to Dunkin'. You want anything? Oh, I'm going to Dunk. You want anything?"
Yeah,
Much
yeah.
like
And weren't they thinking about calling that Dunks too, or Dunkin' or something?
yeah, they just
And
shortened
people
it
were
to
like,
Dunkin'.
"No, you can't. It's Dunkin' Donuts." Like,
Yeah, and it's like, well, they can do whatever the fuck they want because it's their fucking business. But I mean, it's also like the arena in Providence is the Dunkin' Donuts Center, but nobody calls it the Dunkin' Donuts Center. They're like, "Hey, we're going to the Dunk." It's like,
really going to the Dunk
yeah, they're like, "Hey, we're going to a hockey game at the Dunk."
at the Dunk?
Yeah.
I like it.
Oddly enough, people know what the fuck you're talking about when you say I'm going at a dunk.
I'm gonna get funky at the Dunky, baby.
That's right, baby. The son of a plumber, you're gonna get real funky at the donkey.
Just watch out, because I might play with my monkey as I get funky at the Dunky.
That's right, baby. I got this beautiful lady backstage. She's gonna thrill my gorilla, baby. It's like
Oh
just go,
man.
just go, go, go.
Man, people just get butthurt over the worst thing. I'm just wondering, why make it a state? I mean, I don't really care. I'm just wondering what's the argument to make it a state? Is it the electoral vote thing? Is that what people are saying? Like, oh, it makes sense to make it its own state?
I mean, that's like the argument for, the argument against it. I think there's also like federal funding that would go towards it too. I think that's part of the argument, but much like if like there's been an argument to make Puerto Rico a state, which I'm in favor of because fuck it, it's considered a U.S. territory, but it's not considered a state.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, Puerto Rico's like, fuck that. Like, I'm
Um,
not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure Puerto Rico historically has been kind of opposed to that, but I could be
I
wrong.
I think you might be wrong on that, just because like they would nothing more than be like, hey guys, like much after they got hit with the hurricane and whatnot, and they got delayed help there.
Yeah,
It's like, hey guys, like we really need help here. Like if they were a U.S. state, like they would have gotten, like you think about it when
state of
yeah,
emergency,
like
and they would have gotten more aid and
yeah, like
stuff.
when that hurricane hit like Florida, and there was one that hit Texas, like there was funding like that for them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Instead Puerto Rico's just like, guys, we need help. Here comes Trump. Paper towels for everybody. Doesn't my daughter look hot?
here's here's some bounty. It's the quicker picker upper.
The brawny man's a
So
pussy.
They put a big brawny man on the package, but he doesn't do shit. Oh man.
Fucking hell.
I mean, yeah, I'm all for, if Puerto Rico wants to become a state, come on board, man. I mean, if they don't want to be a state, then
Yeah,
I
like
don't think we should force
yeah,
them
if
to
they
be a
don't want to be,
state. But
if they don't want to be a state, like okay, that's on them then. But
yeah,
like it's
I don't
almost
think
like
Hawaii wanted to be a state, but I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure they were like, "Oh fuck you, we're our own little thing,"
yeah,
but U.S. is like, "Nah, fuck you, you're a state now," kind of thing.
nah. It's almost like
Uh,
I
just
I know there were some states in like the South that were just like, no, we're gonna secede from the Union. And we're like, again? Didn't you guys learn the last
yeah.
time? Like,
Well,
dumbasses.
Texas has threatened it a few times. Was at one point like they had their own president and shit too.
Hmm. It's not only that, but
Cheers, by the way. Just happened to grab a drink at the same time.
I,
But yeah, Texas was going to be its own. I don't know if its own like country, but it was going to be its own like governing body. It
Like
was
its
going to have
own.
its own president and shit. In fact, I think there's still like a Texas presidential seal somewhere in like one of their government buildings or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably like they probably would have been like their own like territory and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it would have been the same as like I know I think it was up in Canada. I think it was like Saskatchewan wanted to like secede from Canada, be their own thing and whatnot. So
Really?
I don't know what the fuck happened with that, but I do
Hmm.
remember like hearing stories about that shit. So like, yeah, fuck Canada, eh? And everybody else in Canada was like, well, that's not very Canadian,
Not very polite, eh?
yeah,
Have some Timbits and relax.
yeah, really. It's kind of rude, isn't he? You guys are acting like Americans right now.
Can't we just bond over the hockey?
Come on, the Leafs are playing in
We
five
all love
minutes.
the
Let's go.
hockey.
Leafs are
We all
playing the
love the
Canadians in
hockey and
5 minutes. Let's
the
go.
Timbits. Oh man. We all love the hockey and the Timbits. Let's all just get along, eh?
Yeah, that's the thing, baby. I go to a Canadians game. I'm surrounded by Canadians. I got Canadians on the ice. I got Canadians in the stands. I got Canadians in my dressing room.
Oh man.
They want to feed me out.
Wacky shit going on, man. Wacky shit.
And it comes back to wrestling every time. God damn it.
It all comes back to us.
It always does.
I don't see shit in Saskatchewan.
They're nothing but a bunch of egg sucking Canucks.
Oh, and funny enough, Terry Funk is from Texas, one of the states that wanted to secede. Screw you guys. I don't see shit in you. I'm going to be president.
I'm
My
going
horse is
home. My
sick.
state is sick.
Yes. Oh my
My
goodness.
Houston is sick.
I used. Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Can you imagine if Texas seceded though? That would be kind of weird.
That would be kind of weird.
To have a
They
state like in the middle of
like
the country, sort of. Because I mean, that's another thing. Is it's sort of like saying, like if Washington D.C. becomes its own state, you have a state in a state. Well, like Texas, if it secedes, it's not a state in another state, but it would be like its own territory,
right.
sort of in the middle
Well, here,
of a bunch of other territories.
right.
Kind of weird.
Here's kind of the thing too is like you remember the winter storm that Texas got hit with? It was like one of those like once in a decade kind of things that really like
Oh
fucked
yeah,
them up. Um,
yeah,
and they were
really
like,
did.
they're like, yeah, this is all the fault of green energy and blah blah blah. And they're like, yeah, that's not really true because like 12% of your energy is from like wind turbines, solar energy, just 12% of it. The rest of it is like coal power, gas, electricity, shit like that. But
Hmm.
Texas, like, there's like a national. I'm trying to think, not to, for lack of better words, there's like a national like electrical grid that Texas basically said like, no, 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 fuck you guys, we're gonna be our own thing, and that way, you know what, we don't have to bow down to your prices or anything like that. This storm hits, there were people that were getting hit with like $15,000 electric bills, like during that storm. And it's like, guys, what are you doing? Well, free market. Energy demand is up.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, it's not exactly, free market. Like,
yeah. I mean, you kind of get what you ask for, right? I
yeah,
mean,
like,
hey, we want to be independent with our energy. Okay, well, when the shit hits the fan,
yeah, it's
sorry, not sorry.
like to me, free market is like, if you were like, hey, I want to get a cup of coffee, and there's like, five different like coffee places around you. Like there's a Dunkin' Donuts, there's a Starbucks, there's a couple like mom and pop shops around you. You have that free. There's that free market. You can go to whichever one you want. Basically, what that one
Hmm.
was like, hey, I want to get some coffee. Well, the only place in town to get coffee, the only place that's really allowed in this town to get coffee is a Dunkin' Donuts, and it's $15 for a fucking small cup of coffee.
Hmm.
That doesn't say free market. That tells me like, no, we've got you by the balls.
Yeah, that sounds more like a monopoly to me than anything.
Yeah.
And I love me some Monopoly, sir. Oh wait, wrong Wrong kind of Monopoly.
That's right. I park my place right in that boardwalk, baby.
I'm gonna build me some hotels, collect double the rent, baby. And then Ric Flair will know hard times once he lands, and then I'll land on free parking, baby. I'll collect all. Well, actually, that's kind of a discrepancy. How do you play Monopoly? Do you play that if you pay like taxes and shit that you put it towards the middle and you land on free park? Whoever lands on free parking gets the money in the middle. Do you play that way?
I've played it both ways. I've played it like that way. I've played it where like, there's like, like $50 on like free parking or something like that, and whoever lands on it collects it. Like if you pass by it, you don't collect shit.
I don't.
But like, every time like the last player like passes by go, like another $50 is added onto it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So like
I've always played. I've always played where like if you have to pay like taxes or like whatever it is, not like if you owe another player, but like if you get like community chest or chance or whatever, and you have to pay, that you pay towards the middle, and that once you land on parking, whoever lands on free parking gets that money. But it's not really like a sanctioned rule. A lot of people don't play that way.
No.
But I like it. I think it makes the game more fun.
I mean, there is a cheater's version of Monopoly. I don't know what the fucking rules are, if there are any, but
A cheater's version of Monopoly?
yeah. It could be like, hey, you can pass go, but first things first, kick your opposing player in the balls. Okay. Oh, they're in pain from their ball sack getting kicked in. Well, I guess you're gonna have to take their turn.
Oh man.
So
now I want to play Monopoly.
You're on your own there.
You bastard. Well, Liz and I are gonna have game night tonight, so maybe we'll play Monopoly. I was thinking maybe Risk or something, but I know both Risk and Monopoly are kind of long games. That's kind of the problem with it. They're kind of my favorite games, but they're both long as shit.
Yeah, they're just like, good fucking god, dude.
Yeah. My mom has a pretty funny story actually about Risk, where when she was living with my dad in an apartment which she kind of shared with a bunch of other people, there was this guy Dots who was getting kind of pissed off because he thought people were cheating, and like they had this game going like all weekend. They started like on Friday and it was coming around to like Sunday or whatever, and they basically just kept the board set up so they knew like, okay, you have this many guys, you have this many guys, it's your turn. So when we start again, okay, Andy, it's going to be your turn once we resume again. Okay, cool. And this guy Dots thought everyone was cheating, so he's like, you guys are cheating, and he just flipped the whole fucking board and ruined the whole game.
Christ, dude.
He nerd raged on Risk.
I know, like I told you, my mom's been babysitting a friend of mine's son for a while, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah, so she was like, all right, well, he's got school vacation this coming week. We should probably get him, let's get him some board games or something like that. He's got something to do, so he's not, playing video games the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting like Monopoly Junior, and we ended up getting this game called Burping Bobby. It's
Burping Bobby?
It's a fucking hilarious game just because it's literally about making a hippo burp. That's it.
That's awesome.
It is. Like the next time I come up there, I'm fucking bringing it.
How many players? Is it 2-player?
I think it's like 2 to 4 or something like that. So basically, like it starts off, you have like these food tokens that are flipped face side down. You have to guess what your food you're picking up, be it like soda, pizza, whatever the fuck it is. If you guess right, you get to keep that, and the number that's on the coin is how many points you get. If you get it wrong, you have to put it in his mouth and turn that number, like turn the crank that many times. And if he burps at you, it's fucking hilarious.
Do you lose if he burps at you? Is that the thing?
Well, like the game's over once he burps at you, and then whoever has the most points wins. But the thing is,
so
like,
it could be a pretty quick game if he burps like right out the gate.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, like you take off like his ears, you put a little bit of water inside of his head and whatnot, and then when he burps, like he opens up his mouth and it like mists out, and there's like a green light inside of his mouth that makes it like a green mist.
Way!
I was like, this game is fucking great. Where was this when I was a kid?
That's hilarious. That reminds me of what was it, Primal Instinct with the monkey or the orangutan or whatever that like burped acid and farted at you. There's like their special moves. You remember that shit?
Oh, I remember that. Fucking Primal.
Yeah.
Stole so many damn quarters.
Oh yeah. Pretty good game though.
That was a damn good.
Although the moves were like fucking impossible.
Yeah.
They didn't take a hint from like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, where it was like down forward punch.